My name's Heather. I'm the program manager on our Office of the CEO team here at Upkeep. Upkeep is a team of about 150 people spread out around the US. And we make a maintenance software, an asset operations system for maintenance, reliability, and operations teams across industries to use in their day-to-day work to kind of streamline their workflow, as well as capture really actionable insights, data, and everything like that from the field in order to, improve their businesses and keep all of their internal functions moving. My role on the team as our program manager, I'm one of the main drivers of team-wide kind of events and activities, team-wide communications and processes, especially those having to do with company culture. So my focus is really on making Upkeep a great place to be, making it really easy to understand kind of what goes on here and all of the different programs and things you have access to, as well as, resources and things like that. I think like a lot of companies in 2020, we began adjusting to this new remote workforce, this kind of digital world and a new way of working and engaging with each other over Zoom and Slack and email and kind of taken out of that comfort of our like in-person interactions. But it ultimately has been a really great shift for our team, I would say. We went from being a Los Angeles-based company to being able to welcome teams from around the country. But again, with that, it brought kind of a new set of challenges. So we had been doing kind of similar practices that Assembly supports, giving one another recognition and kind of building that into our in-person office life. But then kind of going remote, we had a new need of how can we maintain that level of like team appreciation and recognition for one another in this remote setting. So we were looking around and trying to figure out kind of what our options were, because gratitude is, I would say, one of the most important pieces of our company culture. Just being able to show and express appreciation and gratitude for each other is something that was like top priority, really important for the team to kind of maintain. So we were hopeful in finding a system that would reinforce and strengthen that practice, again, in that remote setting to keep the presence of gratitude alive in our culture. We needed something like this to support and kind of reinforce that presence of gratitude in this remote setting. We knew of a person and a software that were doing great things. So it was kind of just like a perfect storm, I would say, of let's make this happen. But in that process, we were kind of thinking about, what is important in this system, right? So it was going to happen, but it was kind of like, okay, what are we looking for out of this system? And so customization, I would say, was one of our like biggest things. Being able to kind of adjust the system to fit our needs more so than having to change our practices and processes and ideas for a system. So we've definitely found that in Assembly and being able to, tailor our prize options, add and adjust different kind of allowances for different types of roles. I would say two of our own kind of like North Stars in building our software platform is our ease of use and simplicity. And so that's been ingrained in kind of my belief in software since joining the Upkeep team. And so I was really excited to find kind of both of those things in Assembly as well. I'm our primary admin and both a user as well. So it's extremely easy to kind of do all of the different things that I need to do, whether it's add new people or set up new prizes or give somebody a shout out in a couple of different ways. It's really, really simple and straightforward. And I would say it's robust, but it's not overcomplicated. And then one more thing that kind of stood out about Assembly for me was kind of the support that we received, both from Jonathan as well as from members of the Assembly team throughout the sales process, it made me feel really confident in having kind of ongoing support as we needed throughout our life cycle with assembly. Our onboarding experience was great. We again had kind of very special attention from the CEO, and that felt wonderful in in our instance. But I don't think that that's something that's unique to us. I think that that level of attentiveness is kind of, it seems like that level of attentiveness is really standard across all members of the support team. You know, we had a lot of kind of little questions and needs, and I like to over ask questions. So I didn't, at no point did I feel like I was being a nudge. I felt like, you know, I really had the resources and the support that I wanted in getting a new system set up team wide, right? We got a lot of guidance and support on how to best roll this out to our team. So it's always kind of scary unleashing a new system across 150 people. But the assembly team really was able to give us a lot of good guidance on how to kind of present it, how to communicate about it. They gave us some materials on how to train managers and materials on how to use the system that we could share with our team really easily. And so ultimately we were able to drive a really successful adoption. So onboarding was super smooth and a really great experience as well. Rolled out more asynchronously to the entire company. But I did want to give special attention to the manager level of people managers in our organization, because I think that making sure that they felt comfortable using it and that they were going to be high adopters was really important to like the overall adoption of it, right? So if managers were using it, teams would as well. But if there was some kind of lapse in the middle there, I think that it would have presented some problems. And the reception I think was really good. It was again simple and straightforward, not overcomplicated, but definitely robust in the way that we can do all of the things we want to do with it. We can give the different types of shout outs, we can give the different type of recognition, we can reward certain activities and behaviors, and all of that kind of thing was really straightforward and well received. So the main way we use assembly is by giving recognition, just kind of straight up peer-to-peer shout outs, manager to peer shout outs or otherwise. And we are big users of the Slack integration. So we have a dedicated Slack channel for celebrations and shout outs and recognition for team members. And that channel is just always going, especially the last week of the month. We also use the core values feature within recognition a lot. So we have 3 company core values, and one of the things we do with our core values is we award a leader of the month, or a leader of the month for each individual core value every month. So by having the ability to attach those core values to different shout outs and types of recognition, we're able to kind of really easily match that up with who's doing a great job in what way, and award our leaders of the month kind of based on those. We call them nominations. So it's, if you give a shout out and attach a core value, you're nominating someone. And so we're able to kind of really easily match that to our practice of leader of the month, which we already had again. And it was just a really great way to supplement it. And then prizes are big for us. So adding a lot of different kinds of swag and different kinds of experiences and opportunities, as well as different types of donations and ways to give back to different parts of the community that we're involved in, have been a great use as well. In this kind of switch to remote work, we had been doing a lot of like really random prizes, doing, if you participate in this, we'll give you a blanket or things like that. And so it was kind of really manual to be coming up with a different prize for a different activity every single day. And now it's a lot easier to, at least on the admin side and on the, hopefully on the team side, being able to choose your prize and us being able to say, you know, here's an allowance, here's a prize of 50 upkeep bucks. Now you can choose what you get with it as well. So we've really liked that feature in the prizes too. I was at the beginning of launching assembly with the team, I was really kind of nervous that people were just going to be giving teammates shout outs like, you're really nice, and it was nice meeting you, and just kind of like surface level, not super detailed or specific kinds of shout outs, more so just like, you're cool, and that's great. And that's wonderful, and we appreciate that as well. But I've been really, really blown away by the level and like specificity of types of appreciation that people are sharing with one another. I think it's really, really special. And people are just showing how thankful they are for their teammates for helping and collaborating and supporting them, and being accountable for their works and and all the things that they do in their day to day. And Assembly really has been the main vehicle of allowing us to see that publicly. So that's been a great surprise, and something I'm really pleased with. One of the things that really surprised me too was honestly the team adoption. So I believed in, the quality of this tool going through the sales process and getting all these materials and preparing to kind of roll it out to the team. But again, there's always kind of a huge question mark of, I think this is going to go well and I'm setting it up to go well, but is the team going to use it? And they really have. So we average about 300 shout outs a month across less than 150 people. And then we've had highs of, over 500 and over 600, nearing 700 shout outs a month. So like the team adoption is really just blown me away, and people really, really use it for everything and anything. I guess, maybe I'm not so surprised because gratitude is such a big part of our culture, but the way that it's really taken off, and Assembly's ability to kind of support that element of the way that we like to work at Upkeep has been phenomenal. So we love our culture awards. And then a big one also for us is virtual lunch with the CEO. So just creating that opportunity in kind of a little bit more of a structured way of making him really available and accessible to the entire company. He always is, and he loves to connect with teammates one-on-one, but I can understand it being sometimes a little bit intimidating to be like, hey, would you like to have lunch sometime? Just out of the blue. So it's a nice way to kind of make available that opportunity and make it even more accessible to allow people to connect directly with him. So he really does love to connect with people one-on-one. Back when we were in the office, he would take a different kind of teammate out to lunch or out to get coffee or something like that on Tuesday afternoons. So it's part of his leadership style and the way that he likes to participate in the team. But again, shifting to this remote world, it was kind of trying to figure out how to maintain these same practices of team connection and gratitude and appreciation for one another with a system that supplements and supports and really just reinforces that. So